Rock 100.5 KATT. I am Cameron Buchholtz here with Jim from Sparta. What's going on, man?
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Just stoked for the show tonight here at 89th Street.
Yeah.
And it's been, I think, a long time since you've been in this venue. It was
couple of years.
Just a couple of years?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Because I was thinking, I saw you guys at Beer City across town.
Right, that was like 4 years ago or something.
Okay,
like
gotcha.
That. Yeah, we were here a couple of years ago just on a quick run. And actually, as I walked in, I had forgotten that we sound checked a song here that's on the new record.
Oh,
for
nice.
the first time ever.
Oh, cool.
Kind of wrote it at a hotel room in Oklahoma City, and it'll be a full circle moment for that song today.
Nice. I must have missed the last time you were here, but I was thinking of I think you played here back when it was called the Conservatory.
A long time ago.
I think on this tour for the second record, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I want to say I talked to you then for the college newspaper for that show.
Yeah, awesome.
Did a phoner.
Well, thanks for having me back.
Yeah, man. Always. But you guys are out supporting a new record, Cut a Silhouette.
We are. Yep. Just came out about a month ago, and this is sort of the beginning of our headlining stuff. So this goes the rest of this year and then well into next year.
Sure. Now, having a month with it out in the world, how are you feeling about it? How have the reactions been?
It's been really good. It's one of those things where you can't really buy a moment, but we're having a moment, and it feels like sort of after doing it for this long, when you have something that is kind of resonating naturally, it feels pretty good. And I think we're in a really good space to just enjoy it.
Nice.
And kind of after all of these years, recognize what's happening and just enjoy the moment and playing new songs and old songs and having new fans and old fans, and it's been really good so far.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of have an interesting 2-act career of Sparta, or
at
2-act
least,
whatever.
Yeah, at least. I kind of consider this, so this is the 6th album to come out. And I'm a pretty big believer in the grouping of threes. So I kind of feel like Cut a Silhouette is the end of that era. Kind of every lesson that was learned in the second act of Sparta has been implemented into this album, and it's like a nice little kind of wrap up and a little bit of a nod to our history as well, and excited to do the tour for the next 12 or 18 months and then see what comes next.
Awesome. Well, I mean, the record's great, and I think
Thank
you're right in that it I feel like more than any of your other records, it probably has the most in common with the first record.
Yeah. I don't think it was as intentional as it happened, but I think one thing is that Neil, our drummer, joined us about 4 years ago, and he did both celebration tours. So he sold the Wiretap and the Porcelain. So he really understood the DNA of this band. Yeah. And I think that I am sort of in a better place than I've been in a long time, and sort of a lot of things have eased on my shoulders, and I just kind of feel like I am in a good space, and writing with these guys was really fun, and we wrote with some co-writers and did some stuff that we've never done before. But I think that the energy and the sort of the love of music is kind of back for me.
Nice.
And it's been a minute. So
it's a shame it went away.
You kind of have to take the good and take the bad. This has been a long career for me. I started touring when I was 18. That was 31 years ago. So I think that having this long of a career and starting so young, I've had some real highs and some real lows, and I kind of maybe am just at a place where I'm sort of at peace with all of it.
Okay,
and
nice.
Just kind of enjoying being who I am right now.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Yeah. Well, that's a good place to be, I feel like.
I think so.
But now you guys just got off the road with your Texas brethren, the Toadies.
We did, yeah.
In my mind, there's no more Texas-y band than the Toadies.
Pretty good call right there. Yeah, they pretty much are. They are Texas. I mean, they're like a little bit left of center, and very independent, and they don't sound like anybody else. And I think Texas, for as tough as a time we've had lately with our politics, the people of Texas are still a proud, independent people. And I think the Toadies kind of represent that really well. It was nice for us to go out and just stretch our legs and get back into the groove with, quick set early in the day, just get your job done and sort of remember how to do this and set it up for now. So, obviously now we'll be playing longer and get further into our kind of catalog. But.
Nice. And what did the Toadies crowd think of? Because when I saw that lineup, I was like, well, it makes sense, but it's also not what I would have exactly expected.
Yeah, so I think there's two things with our band right now. One is it's kind of nice to remind people that we still exist, because we do have a lot of people that will come up and say, like, oh, I loved your band, however many years ago. Sure. Because we come and go as we please, and I think that there's a benefit to that for my mental health, but I think that there's a real deficit to that career-wise. You take yourself out of the picture for a long time, people forget about you. So I think a lot of people were kind of just pleasantly surprised that we were there and that we are still good at what we do.
Yeah.
And we sold lots of new records and hopefully made new fans, and their crowd's very receptive. And I think, for most of us that play music, I think we can all pretty much get along and play together. It's pretty rare that you have just like real shitty human beings playing music for this long.
Yeah.
I think the timetable eliminates a lot of bad people.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Well, and people often ask me, like, oh, who is, like, the worst person you've interviewed or whatever? And I'm like, well, the worst people say no to the interview.
Yeah.
So I don't even deal with them. So it's not, it's not a thing.
Yeah, we always joke that because we have so many friends, extended friends. We're all kind of friends of each other. And there's it's a huge community, obviously. And we always joke about what's the lame other counterpart to this? Like, what's that circle of, like, really bad people that are just mean to people and mean to each other? And I don't know if it really exists. I think,
not in my experience.
Yeah, I think we're lucky to be amongst friends, and that's what we want.
But now, when you think back, if you could put yourself in the mindset of when you were a teenager starting punk rock bands and stuff, when the Toadies were at their peak, I can't imagine that they were a band that you really listened to or whatever, were they? I mean,
absolutely. So one of my favorite bands in the world is called Baboon. They're from Dallas, and they were tight with them, and they would tour with them. So my introduction to the Toadies was, hey, our friends, well, Baboon told me, hey, our friends, the Toadies, are taking us out. I went to go see them in Lubbock. And I mean, by this point, they have a big radio hit, and they're becoming famous in my eyes.
Sure.
They came to I remember them coming to an At the Drive-In show at Trees and hanging out.
Oh,
and
wow.
They were just super nice guys. It's just a small community. So. Also, like, remember, I grew up in the 90s where it was like, we listened to everything. Yeah. Like, it was not genre specific as much as it was. I just
had it in my mind of, like, being a punk rock kid of, like, I'm not listening to that band that's on the radio.
I think that probably faded for me by, like, 16, 17. Good. Like, definitely, like, 13, I'm like, oh, listen to the Subhumans or whatever it was. Yeah. But, you start listening to Pixies, and then you start listening to, and then it's just like, music becomes music.
Yeah, and at some point it's like, well, this is good, and that's what matters.
That's what matters. Absolutely.
Yeah. But now you mentioned doing the Wiretap tour and the Porcelain tour. What was that like, kind of doing a whole thing, kind of looking back and feeding into nostalgia?
I think it was, it took me a minute to realize that it wasn't about me. And it seems like that should be an easy conclusion to come to, but it was actually really hard. I was like, I'm never going to do that stuff. I don't really care for it. It doesn't really bother me if people want to get nostalgic or not, but not my thing. And then we were supporting Get Up Kids on a tour where they were doing an anniversary tour. And I was at the merch table, and people just started saying, like, hey, Wiretap turns 20 next year. Are you going to do it? And I was like, nah, not my thing. Yeah. Then they started telling me about what the record meant to them. And it pretty quickly dawned on me that this is not about me. Yeah. That it's about them. It's about fans and all of these lifetime of memories and marriages and kids and loss and love and all of these things that are tied into this record, and the idea that we could go and play it for them and take them to that moment in their life became really powerful. And I think we did about 3 shows where I talked in between songs. And on the 4th show, I told the guys, like, we're just going to play straight the whole record, no words at all. And we did play the whole record without saying a word. People never came out of their zone unless they wanted to. And it was really rewarding and really fun, but long. Like, we did like 70 plus shows worldwide on that. And so Porcelain, I was like, let's do 7, which turned into, of course, like 30. But, I think now maybe it's what we needed to do in order to get to this place and to make this record. But really happy we made this record. Happy we get to play sort of a full catalog worth of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine at this point it's getting harder and harder to make the set lists. It is. That's what I have to do after we have this conversation. Okay, gotcha. I'm not excited about it, to be honest. It's the first night of the tour. You didn't do that weeks ago? No, I mean, we dabbled in it on Toadies, and we would kind of like bring songs in and out. But no, tonight, we play for an hour plus. So, 15 songs probably, something like that. So yeah, there's like a little algorithm to it. Sure. This percentage of this percentage of this. Are you someone that like dives into like the data that some of the streaming websites and stuff give you of like, oh, for some reason this song is really popular in this town, or like we should play it? Like, no, I don't. I think there's stuff. There's like a list of songs that I want to play for this tour that I sent to them. They kind of added and subtracted, and then I mean, we sort of just know what people like, right? After this many years. It's more about how many new songs can we fit in. Basically, how much can we get away with? Sure. Just play the whole new record. I mean, I would love to, you know, which was brought up, like, why don't we play the whole record when it comes out? And I was like, nobody wants to see a record they don't know. Like,
Sure.
in my opinion, for our kind of band, I don't think that it's something that people would get into as much as, like, let's throw in a couple of new songs. And people like the record, which I'm very happy about. And hopefully we'll play one or two that they like and, you know, we'll go from there.
Nice. Well, I before I let you go, I feel obligated to ask a question that I'm sure you're tired of talking about. But, you know, have you had any contact with the other At the Drive-In dudes, and kind of what's the status of all of that side of things?
Yeah, I'm pretty much out of that circle following the 2016 stuff. Yeah, I always say, like, it's a huge part of my life, and it's like those songs are like my kids, and there was like some good co-parenting until the kids were raised.
Sure.
And now, you know, I just want everybody to be filled with joy as much as they can be, and I want people to make the music that they want to make. Yeah. And I've never been successful enough to worry about success. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like I've never been big enough to have to maintain anything. So to me, I just love playing music, and I love, you know, sort of 200 to 500 cap rooms. That's what I love, and I am at peace with my life and the world around me, and that's all I can ask for. And I just wish the best for everybody.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think when Relationship of Command came out, I was like 13, so that was a pretty massively important record. So I will say, I hope at some point you're able to do it again.
I'm so grateful that I got to be a part of something that affected so many people, and I'm so grateful that people share that with me. Yeah. And to me, that's a big enough blessing.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Thank you, just stoked for the show tonight, and congrats on the new record.
Thank you so much.